field, number 6, Dylan Haas. At first base, number 36, Nathan Dill. At second base, number 28, Sam Wilson. At shortstop, number 1, Eddie Pena. At third base, number 32, Eric Roberts. Catching for your Settlers this evening, number 34, Cale Baker. And on the mound, number 31, Chris Sparks. The umpires for today's game, on the bases, Mr. Jimmy Craig, and behind the plate, Mr. Justin May.
Welcome to game number 17 here, this Great Lakes Collegiate Summer League season for the Licking County Settlers. They have the Xenia Scouts in town today for a 7-inning doubleheader. We'll have this game coming up in just a couple minutes, then game number 2. We'll get started about 30 minutes or so following the conclusion of game number 1. Licking County coming off 2 losses at Grand Lake against the Mariners. One tough one 2 nights ago, up 8-1. In the bottom of the 9th inning, and would eventually lose that one 9-8, and then a closely contested game last night, 2-1 loss against the Mariners. Had the tying run thrown out at home plate to end the game. So 2 heartbreaking losses. Settlers currently on a 5-game losing streak. Last time these 2 teams faced off, it was an absolute hit parade, and runs were being scored left and right. 13-12. Loss for the Settlers. That one in extra innings. If you remember, it was a walk-off hit by pitch that had the Settlers fall in that one. Settlers looking to right the ship here tonight back at home. The one positive here is Xenia is 2-6 on the road, 7-9 overall. Settlers 3-13 on the year. There was a coaching change, if you haven't heard, a couple days ago. Charlie Poole was let go, so Michael Sandman will be at the reins now for the Settlers, making his 4th appearance as the acting manager. Managed 2 games up in St. Clair, managed last night, and his first official one as the head coach, and now managing here today. It's a beautiful day here at Don Edwards Park. Sun is shining, very few clouds in the sky. No chance of rain that I know of. That's probably a first for this season. Wind really non-existent. You see the flags out there in center field blowing around just a little bit, but not too much. It's a beautiful day for baseball. It's a beautiful day for 2 ball games. Here's Licking County Settlers and the Xenia Scouts get ready to square off. Starting lineup for the Xenia Scouts, leading off and playing right field will be Carson Wright, playing center and batting second. Chandler Chambers batting third, and the designated hitter Ryan Bertelsman. Luke Boylston will be cleaning up and playing left field. In the 5-hole and playing third, Dukin Darnell behind the plate and batting sixth. It'll be Truman Brown. Felix King will be batting 7th and playing first base. Over at second base, Zach Bacon, he's batting 8th. And Nicholas Tuttle, the shortstop, will be batting 9th. They'll be facing the right-handed hurler from Otterbein College, Chris Sparks the second. Chris Sparks 1-1 on the year. He has a 9 ERA. This is his 3rd game that he's started. He's thrown 12 innings, given up 13 runs, 13 hits, 14 strikeouts, and 9 walks. Defensive alignment behind him, left to right field, Dylan Ott, Turner Hill, Brendan Alice. Around the horn from first to third, it'll be Nathan Dill, Sam Wilson, Eddie Pena, and Garrett Roberts. Behind the plate catching will be Cale Baker, as we're getting one final warm-up pitch before we are ready to go. Wind starting to pick up a little bit here today as Carson Wright steps up to the batter's box for his first plate appearance and the first pitch of this ball game. Carson Wright, the left-handed batter from Knoxville, Tennessee, goes to Lipscomb University, standing in 5'9", 160 pounds, awaiting the first pitch from Chris Sparks. Sparks winds and deals a strike. First pitch, 12:36. We'll say the clock changed just as that pitch came over, so we'll say 12:36. The official start time as Sparks gets ahead in the count early. That pitch misses outside. Going to even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Right in the last meeting against these 2 teams, did get a start. He was 1 for 3, had 3 RBIs in that game. As you see is the 3rd pitch from Sparks, curveball taken just high. 2 balls now on the count. Settlers wearing their blue tops, white letters spelling out Settlers right across the front of their jersey. Gray pants, red hats with the blue bills. As Sparks delivers the 2-1. That pitch flown into center field. Turner Hill stopped and gives chase behind him and makes the easy catch for out number 1 here in the top of the first inning. Sparks 1 up and 1 down as the center fielder Chandler Chambers will dig in now. Chambers from Knoxville, Tennessee, also goes to Lipscomb University. So you have the teammates, the Bison teammates, batting 1 and 2 in this game. Chandler Chambers, .250 batting average. He has 8 hits on the year, 2 doubles, 6 RBIs, 10 strikeouts, and 5 walks. As he sees the first pitch from starting pitcher Chris Sparks, taking curveball for a strike. The Xenia Scouts wearing their baby blue tops, have maybe a darker blue, spelling out Xenia across the front with some white trim around there as he takes another pitch, this time for a ball. Gray pants for the Xenia Scouts. 1-1 from Sparks. That pitch taken low and inside. Going to put 2 balls on the count. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the first inning. This is batter number 2 for starting pitcher Chris Sparks II. 2-1. This one misses high. So Sparks falls behind, 3 balls and a strike. And Sparks' last appearance, he pitched up in St. Clair through 5 innings, 5 runs, 2 hits, 7 walks, and 4 strikeouts. So not one of his better appearances as he misses inside once again. A 5-pitch walk to the number 2 hitter, Chandler Chambers. And the Xenia Scouts have their first runner aboard in this ball game. Ryan Bertelsman will walk up to the dish now. Bertelsman, the designated hitter here today. He's from Friendswood, Texas, goes to Baylor University. Bats .333 on the season, has 15 hits, 1 double, 5 RBIs, 7 strikeouts, and 3 walks. Always a threat to run as well. He has 10 stolen bases, so if he gets on, beware as that pitch misses high as Sparks struggling to find the strike zone here early on. Sparks had 7 walks in that last appearance. Only had 2 walks in the first 2 appearances before that, so kind of an anomaly for Sparks as that pitch curveball catches the outside corner, going to even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Runner in Chambers over on first base. Bertelsman last time these 2 teams faced off 1 for 6. Didn't have his best day as the runner gets a big lead. Sparks steps off. Chambers didn't turn to run, but he was kind of taking a secondary lead as even before Sparks even delivered the pitch. So Sparks obviously going to pay attention over on first base. Now Nathan Dill holding on the runner in Chambers. Sparks comes set and delivers the 1-1. That's low and outside. 2-1 is your count now. 2-1, 1 out. Top of the first inning, 1 runner over on first base in Chambers. This Xenia team does a good job getting on base as that pitch curveball taken for a strike, even the count at 2. They do a great job getting on base, nearly a .400 on base percentage. They walk about 6 times per game. They're never afraid to steal a base. 37 bases stolen out of 45 attempts. So Billy Bean would be proud of this team right here as they maybe not have the best batting average, but they're going to get on base as the runner in Chambers goes. Strike 3, swinging, throw down from Baker. Not in time, but Sparks will get the strikeout swinging of Bertelsman. Chambers will go into second base with the stolen base. So that's 38 stolen bases on the year now for the Xenia Scouts, as that'll bring up the cleanup hitter and left fielder in Luke Boylston. Boylston from Fairview, Texas, goes to the University of Dallas. He's batting .333 on the season, has 11 hits, 3 doubles, 1 home run, 7 RBIs, 11 strikeouts, and 3 walks for Boylston. First pitch from Sparks, cut on and missed. Sparks coming inside with the fastball and getting it under the hands of Boylston. Boylston last time these 2 teams faced off 2 for 5 with an RBI. He has another RBI chance right now as his teammate in Chambers stands over on second base, 2 outs, top of the first inning. Pitch from Sparks in the dirt, but swung on and missed for strike number 2. So Sparks ahead in the count early on. No balls and 2 strikes. You know that Sparks is got it going early on when he's able to get the strikeout during his season at Otterbein. Had 2 appearances. 1 he had 7 strikeouts, 1 he had 5. In that last outing against the Green Giants. Only 4 the outing before that when he got the win, 9 strikeouts. So if he gets that strikeout cooking, he could be dangerous. That pitch, high chopper to Eddie Pena, charging, makes a throw on the run to Dill in time, and the tag as that came off the base. No, it bounces out of the glove of Nathan Dill as the runner in Chambers will come around to score. You can mark that one up as an error as the shortstop Pena made a throw over to first base, pulled Dill off of first base. Dill made the tag, but you couldn't see the ball come out as he and the runner in Boylston were standing in the way, and that ball flew down into right field. So Boylston is going to get a board on the error, and the Scouts grab the 1-0 lead here after that should have been getting Sparks out of the inning. The Sparks' first pitch to Dugan Darnell, the third baseman, is called for a strike. So an error early on costing the Settlers here. 0-1 misses low and outside. Xenia been in a lot of close games as of late. In their last 7 out of 8 games, all of those games have been by at most 2 runs, 1-run games. 7 out of the last 8 as that pitch misses high and outside. They've only won 3 of those. So they're a team that no stranger to a close game. Settlers, on the other hand, haven't had too many close games. They've had about 3 or 4 games within that 1 to 2 run. That pitch grounded to the right side, going to be a tough play for Wilson. He will not be able to get it as he dives, gets into right field. Alice comes up with it, makes a throw to third, but off the bases. Roberts tries to get him out at second. No, not in time. So give him a single for Dugan Darnell, and runners will be at second and third base here with 2 away. Wilson tried to dive. It was going to be a tough play for him to come up with that one. Gets into right field. Boylston running obviously on the pitch, and what looked to be as a scoreless inning for the Settlers has now turned into a dangerous one, as there's runners on second and third base with 2 outs, and Truman Brown, the catcher, coming to the plate. Brown from Clarksville, Tennessee, goes to Austin P State University as the first pitch from Sparks misses high. Brown hitting 185 on the year. He's got 5 hits, 2 home runs, 1 double, 7 RBIs, 5 strikeouts, and a walk. 1-0, grounded towards the Settler third base dugout. And the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Thought the Settlers were going to be able to get out of the inning as Boylston grounded to Eddie Pena. Pena came up, made the throw, but Nathan Dill couldn't hold on as he tried to tag the runner. Ball squirted into right field, and that's where we are right now. 2 more runners aboard for the Scouts. That pitch fouled off to the right side. Sparks gets ahead of another hitter. 1 ball and 2 strikes here, 2 outs. Runners on second and third. Settlers trail by 1. Chris Sparks trying to get out of this top of the first. Gets his sign, comes set, and delivers. That pitch, check swing. He did not go around, says home plate umpire Justin Mann. Justin Mann behind the plate, and Jimmy Craig on the bases. Obviously not the United States goaltender for that Miracle on Ice team. We have our own Jimmy Craig here tonight. This will be a 2-2 pitch coming up here to Truman Brown. 2-2, 2 outs, 2 men on. Pitch from Sparks, looked at for strike number 3 looking. So Sparks able to limit the damage, but not before the Xenia Scouts strike first. They get 1 run on 1 hit. There was 1 error and 2 left on base as the Settlers head to the dugout for their first at-bat of the day. They trail by 1.
for Sam Drawley.
Settlers coming to bat for their half of this first inning. Their starting lineup today will be Turner Hill leading off, Dylan Ott batting second, batting third Sam Wilson, Garrett Roberts will be cleaning up, Cale Baker in the 5 spot. In the 6 spot will be Eddie Pena, batting 7th, Nathan Dill, Brendan Alice in the 8 hole, and then rounding it out will be Sam Stewart as they face off against Sam Drawley for the Xenia Scouts. First pitch to Turner Hill, taken for a ball. Drawley getting his first start of the year. He's appeared in 9 games already, all coming in relief. As that pitch looked at for a strike. In those 9 appearances, 12 1/3 innings, 17 runs, 15 hits, 13 strikeouts, and 13 walks for Drawley. The Rosamond, California native goes to Cairn University. As that pitch in the dirt, 2-1 count now to Turner Hill. Defensive alignment behind him, outfield left to right, Boylston, Chambers, and right. That pitch misses once again. 3 balls and 1 strike. Infield first to third, it'll be King, Bacon, Tuttle, and Darnell with Brown behind the plate. Pitch misses once again, and Turner Hill is aboard with a leadoff walk. Settlers, of course, trail in this game 1-0 after it appeared they would get out of that first inning, but the error by the first baseman, Nathan Dill, brought a runner around, as that'll bring Dylan Ott to the plate. Ott, the left fielder from Helensville, Wisconsin, goes to the University of Wisconsin Oshkosh, batting .322, 19 hits, 5 of those 4 extra bases, 5 RBIs, 7 strikeouts, and 6 walks. So he gets his first at bat against starting pitcher Sam Drayle. That pitch taken for a strike. 0-1 the count now to Ott. Last time against these two teams, 0 for 4, but he reached base 3 times via the error. Hit the ball hard to the third baseman, Dugan Darnell, 3 times, and was aboard with 2 throwing errors and a fielding error. So something you don't see every day. His on-base percentage was great. So looks at that pitch for a ball. He also walked in that one. So he got on 4 times in 5 plate appearances, 3 via the error by the same guy. It's kind of an incredible little baseball thing that you don't see. As that pitch gets away in the dirt, so Turner Hill will motor into second base, thinking about going to 3 as Brown, the catcher, had to corral it. So Hill will move into scoring position now on the wild pitch. Ott's count moves to 2 balls and 1 strike against Drawley, the starting pitcher. Drawley's longest outing this year in relief has been 3 innings pitched. Normally he throws about 1 to 2 innings. Scouts on the roster only have about 10 pitchers or so. They have a couple two-way guys who aren't listed as pitchers, but they can pitch. They do have a couple injuries, as I was talking to their broadcaster a little bit earlier today. A couple injuries to the pitching staff, so a very short staff here today for 2 games. That could come into play, maybe not in game 1, but definitely in game 2. If Drawley can't do anything. That ball chopped to the second baseman, Bacon. He fields it and flips it over to first base. But Ott will move the runner in Hill over to third base and does his job on the 4-3 ground out. And Sam Wilson will head to home plate now for his first at-bat. Sam getting the start at second base today. We've seen him bounce around second and third base. Wilson batting .383 on the year. He has a .448 on base percentage, so doing a great job getting on base. He has 23 hits. That's good for 5th best in the league as that pitch gets away, and Turner Hill will come into home to score standing up. So there we go. Tie ball game now off the wild pitch from Sam Drawley. Drolly struggling with his control early on. As Turner Hill went to second base on the wild pitch, he just scored there to tie this ball game up at 1 on the wild pitch as well. That pitch grounded to the left side, not going to get in fair territory, just misses that white chalk line, so that'll even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Wilson against these two teams last time, 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored. He was hitting right around 450 at that point, too. That was right kind of near the start of his hitting streak as he looks at that pitch low and in the dirt. Same, of course, getting up to 500 at one point. He led the entire Great Lakes League in batting average. He's cooled off a little bit since then, but still one of the better hitters on this Settler team as he takes that pitch high and outside for ball number 3. 3 balls and 1 strike, 1 out. Bottom of the first inning, we are tied at 1 apiece. A 3-1 from Drolly in the dirt, so there's his second walk of this inning as Wilson is aboard with a walk in his first at-bat. Drolly struggling with his control. He walked Turner Hill to lead off the inning. Turner moved to second on a wild pitch and later scored on a wild pitch as well as Garrett Roberts will step to the dish now. Roberts playing third base today. He's batting .350 on the year. Has 21 hits, 5 extra bases, 2 of those going over the fence, 17 RBIs. That's 4th best in the league. So he steps in, first pitch from Drolly, swung on and fouled. Might have gotten a piece of the catcher in Brown. Roberts from Cuyahoga Community College. He will be heading to Ashland University here in the fall. The Utica, Ohio native, 6 feet, 250 pounds. Digging into that right-handed batter's box, and he can get a ball out of here in a hurry. We've seen some towering drives from Garrett Roberts, whether they get over the wall or not. He can put a charge into one at any given point and time. Both of his home runs as well have been to the opposite field, so he has power to all fields. As the 0-1 hits him right in the back. Roberts really didn't even try to get out of the way. It hit him square in the back, had nowhere to go. And the Scouts find themselves in a jam here early on. 2 runners aboard now with 1 out. There's going to be a meeting on the mound with Darnell and Drolly. Drolly himself stands on that mound, 6'2", 260. So a big imposing presence on the bump today for the Scouts. 2 men aboard now for Cale Baker. Cale getting the start today behind the plate. Didn't start against these two teams last time. He's batting .209 in the season, has 9 hits, 6 of those going for extra bases. 4 of those 6 going over the wall. So you talk about power with Roberts as that pitch misses. Cale Baker has just as much, if not more. Really, any hit he gets, it's probably going to be for extra bases or going over the wall. 9 RBIs, does have 22 strikeouts and 6 walks. As that pitch taken right down the middle for a strike, even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
All ready, now ready.
Cale did not start against these two teams. Last time out, it was Chad Harper that got the start behind the dish. Last night, however, Baker 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Did have 2 hits in the game previous as they check on Wilson over on second base. Baker's 2nd in the league in home runs right now. He's also 3rd in strikeouts. So if he's not driving one deep into the outfield, normally going to strike out. The Settlers hoping for the deep drive here in this at-bat. As that pitch gets away, bounces in the dirt, runners will move up 90 feet off another wild pitch from Drolly. So Drolly with 3 wild pitches, and he is struggling here in his first inning of work. As we talked about as well, the Settlers have an advantage with the pitching staff as the umpire yelling something towards the Settler dugout. Not sure if something was said on the mound or in the dugout. 2-1 pitch now to Baker. In the dirt once again. Good block by the catcher in Brown. Brown has his work cut out for him today. It's just about half the pitches that Drolly's thrown have been in the dirt or near to it. He's going to get a lot of work behind home plate today. Haven't seen anybody come out of the Scouts bullpen or to start going to warm up. As we said, not a lot of arms down there in the bullpen for them to go to. The 3-1 to Baker. Fouled straight back. That'll move the count to full. Settlers offense has been struggling. They started off the year very hot. But as of late, it's been the offense that hasn't really come through for them. Besides the 8 runs they put up the other night, had scored 4 in 4 games. That pitch laced into right field. That'll score Sam Wilson as Baker is aboard with a single. Roberts will be holed at third as the relay comes home, and the RBI single from Cale Baker will put the Settlers ahead 2-1. Eddie Pena will come up to the right-handed batter's box now. Pena, the 5'10", 160-pound junior from Fresno State University, batting .229 on the season, has 11 hits, 4 RBIs, 10 strikeouts, and 4 walks as he comes up with runners on the corners. Roberts at third, Baker at first. It's a 2-1 ball game here in the bottom of the first inning. We are playing 2 7-inning games as this is a doubleheader. Game being made up from the rained-out one on June the 20th. Xenia was supposed to come here to Don Edwards Park, but rain kept them away as Pena swings through that first pitch. Pena didn't play against these 2 teams last time, so he's seeing his first at-bat against the Xenia Scouts pitching staff. As good as the Scout hitters have been this season, the Scout pitching staff has really faltered them as that pitch fouled off to the right side. No balls and 2 strikes. Xenia Scouts have a team ERA up near 8. They give about 8 runs per game, about 12 hits. Have an opposing batting average of .310. So hitters have no problem with this pitching staff. As that pitch laced into right field once again. Eddie Pena goes the opposite field. Roberts will score. Baker will move into second, and back-to-back RBI singles by the Settler hitters has them up 3-1 here early on. A good 2-strike approach by the shortstop, Eddie Pena, just going with that pitch and flipping it into right field. As he goes to first base, we're going to have a meeting on the mound for the Scouts here, as Drolly can't get out of this jam. 3-1. Settlers have scored back-to-back runs on RBI singles to right field, scored their first run on a wild pitch, and they're threatening for more right now. Runners on first and second base with only 1 away here in the bottom of the first inning. Inning started with a walk from Turner Hill. He advanced to second on a wild pitch. Ott moved him to third with a ground out. And then Hill would score on a wild pitch while Sam Wilson was aboard. Wilson later walked. Roberts was hit. That put runners on first and second. Then a wild pitch moved them to second and third. Then you had the RBI single from Cale Baker. And then the RBI single from Eddie Pena as both teams dispersed from their respective huddles. And the Settlers are looking for more here in this first inning. Nathan Dill will head to the batter's box now. Dill playing first base today. The 6'4", 220-pound Fort Collins, Colorado native plays his baseball at Butler University on the season. Dill batting .250, has 7 hits, 2 of those going for extra bases, 2 RBIs, 10 strikeouts, and 2 walks. As Drolly has gotten himself into a jam here in this first inning. First pitch high to Dill. Drolly started a couple games in college. He threw 41 1/3 innings, went 5 innings twice, as that's going to be called as a balk by Drolly. That'll move the runners up 90 more feet as you see head coach Bubba Cates coming onto the field asking umpire Jimmy Craig what he did there. I did not personally see what happened, so I couldn't try to draw that one out for you. And as to what happened is the umpire and Craig explains to Cates what Drolly did. So Baker goes to third, Pena goes to second on the balk, and another runner will enter scoring position. So big at bat here for Dill. He can really break this one open early on, as we are only playing 7 innings. So every run matters, especially early on, as that pitch swung on and missed by Dill. Dill did get a start last time these 2 teams faced off. 1 for 5, had 2 RBIs. You could equal that amount with 1 swing right here. Settlers with back-to-back singles. And they lead 3-1 here in the bottom of the first. That pitch broken bat, bounces in front of the shortstop. Baker's going to go home, and he will score on the 6-3 ground out. The shortstop in Tuttle tried to play it before it hit the ground, but was unable to. So you can give Dill an RBI. Baker will score the 4th run in this inning for the Settlers, as Brendan Alice will come to the plate now. Alice, the New Albany, Ohio native, 6'1", 210, goes to Northern Kentucky University, hitting under 100, has only 3 hits, 10 strikeouts, and a walk. That pitch cut on and missed for strike number 1. Alice 0 for his last 19. He's been struggling. Hasn't had a hit in about 16 days. His last hit was June 14th against the Jazz. As he looks at that pitch for a strike, gets down the count, no balls and 2 strikes in those 19 at-bats, has 5 strikeouts. Ellis trying to avoid the strikeout here. Scouts trying to get out of this disastrous bottom of the 1st inning. 4-1 ball game, 0-2, 2 outs. Ellis at the dish. That pitch swung on and missed for strike 3, but not before the Settlers. 4 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base as we head to the 2nd inning. Settlers lead 4-1.
The Newark County Settlers would like to thank their sponsors for sponsoring them for the 2018 season. Newark Goose Lodge, Raising Canes, Explorer LC, Falcon Retail Marketing, Excel Trucker, Chad Oval, and then LH, Donaldson Real Estate, Mayor Jeff Hall, The McLean Company, Entrance Lawn Sensations, The Krieger Company, Local Roots Lawn Care, The Draft House, PNB, Sharon Brook, Wilson, Shannon, Snow, Lincoln Services, Carl Mechanical, Network 9, SBS Mechanical and Automation, and the Q Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. That's just a few of the sponsors for the 2018 Lincoln County Settlers.
Four to 1 ball game after 1 inning of play. Scouts will have King, Bacon, and Tuttle due up to face against right-handed hurler Chris Sparks. Sparks headed to the dugout with a 1-0 deficit. Now he comes back on the mound with a 4-1 lead. Settlers put 4 across the board as Felix King will come to the dish now. First pitch he sees from Sparks, grounded to Eddie Pena at short. Pena fields and fires to first for out number 1. 1 pitch and 1 out here by Chris Sparks in the top of the 2nd inning. Zach Bacon will head to the dish now. Bacon playing second base today from Seminole, Florida. He goes to Glenville State College on the season. Bacon batting .138, has 4 hits, 2 RBIs, 12 strikeouts, and 6 walks. So he gets his first at-bat against starting pitcher Chris Sparks. He squares the bunt and takes the first pitch for a strike. Bacon, last time these 2 teams played, 0 for 1. Only had 1 plate appearance. The right-handed hitter. That pitch in the dirt, good block by Baker. Couldn't even count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Baker started 34 games for the Glenville State College Pioneers. They went 19-27 on the season. Actually played West Liberty 2 times. That pitch cut on and missed for strike 2. West Liberty, of course, the college of Chad Harper, the backup catcher today. They both split that 2-game series. They've seen a little bit of each other previously. 1-2 pitch from Sparks, swung on and missed. Once again, strike number 3. That's 3 strikeouts on the day for Chris Sparks, and he has it going on early on. 5 pitches, 2 outs, as a shortstop, Nicholas Tuttle will head to the dish now. Tuttle from Caldwell, Idaho, goes to the Masters University. One of the best hitters in the league thus far. Best hitter by far on this scout team, batting .440, .517 on base percentage, has 11 hits, 1 double, 1 triple, 5 RBIs, 6 strikeouts, and 4 walks. So he looks at that pitch for a strike. Tuttle was 3 for 5 with 2 runs scored. back in the first meeting between these two teams. Of course, that was a 13-12 loss for the Settlers in extra innings. Lost on a walk-off hit by pitch. The count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Settlers had to score 8 runs in the 5th, 6th, and 7th to put themselves in position as that pitch misses up and in. They allowed an 8 spot in the 2nd inning and were found themselves trailing the entire game to the 9th inning. Miguel Pimentel had an RBI single to tie the game. Game went to extras, and the Settlers would fall as that pitch taken inside. 3 balls and a strike. Sparks with only 1 walk in that 1st inning. He was about to get out of that 1st inning scoreless had it not been the error that kept the inning alive with 2 outs. 3-1 now to Tuttle. Swung on, chopped to Eddie Pena at short. Takes a big hop and fires over to first base for out number 3. Quick and easy inning for Chris Sparks as the Settlers head to the dugout to hit once again. They lead the Scouts 4-1.
Support sponsors for the Settlers here in the 2018 season. Texas Roadhouse, Tritium Solutions, Lux Showcase, KMA Electric, Heating and Cooling, JetBlue Construction, Alistair Law, Pro Flooring, Mid-Ohio Development, Christy and Judy Cunningham, Dr. Curian, Red Local Mark Hoff, the Rose Family, Havenwood Group, Lynn Living Remax, Keener Roofing, and Haveman's Barbershop. Do you know or visit any of these sponsors? Please set up for their support of the 2018 Licking County Settlers.
Settlers coming to bat here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. It'll be 9-1-2 as Sam Stewart will come up for his first plate appearance, rounding out this Settler order. Here, Stewart making his 3rd appearance in the batting order. His first appearance was up in St. Clair. That pitch taken for a strike. He really only got his first appearance because the Settlers, quite frankly, didn't have enough guys. That pitch laced down the left field line. It's a fair ball. That's going to get into the corner as Stewart motors around first base. He's going to head into 2nd base, standing up, and a lead-off double by the pitcher in Sam Stewart. That is his 2nd double of the season as he continues to hit the ball hard. I tell you what, he keeps that up, he might find a permanent spot in that batting order. As I said, his first appearance in the order, he played right field. Only really got it because there wasn't a lot of fielders left, and they had 2 games up there. So that'll bring up the top of the order in Turner Hill. First pitch he sees from Jolly, squares around a bunt, but takes high for a ball. Hill in his first at-bat, he walked, went to 2nd on a wild pitch, and scored on a wild pitch. He was the first runner of the game for the Settlers as he comes up in a big spot. 3rd baseman in Darnell creeps in, looking for a bunt. He does, gets it down the 3rd base line, but going to kick foul as the count will even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Hill, the Malone Pioneer, they went 34-18 on the year. He played 48 of those games, started 46 of them in right field. He was 2nd on the team in batting average, one of the better hitters on that Malone Pioneer team as he digs into the left-handed batter's box. Been struggling a little bit as of late. He's 3 for his last 18. Does in fact have 2 RBIs though. He's had some big hits where he's able to knock some runners in. That pitch looked at on the outside corner for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike. No outs here. Bottom of the 2nd inning, Settlers lead 4-1. Sam Stewart leadoff double. He stands over on 2nd base. 2-1 offering from Drolley. That one's taken for a strike. Going to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Turner Hill, one of the only guys on this Settler team that has walked more times than he struck out. Has 8 walks total on the year, 7 strikeouts. CC's a 2-2. That pitch watched into the catcher's glove and in the dirt. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Turner, we talk about it all the time. Had a couple games where I think he struck out about 3 times in 2 or 3 games. Didn't strike out a lot in his collegiate season. Only once out of about 14 at-bats. So a guy that's going to make contact, he's going to get on base. That pitch bounces off the plate. Turner Hill will go to first base on the walk. Stewart will move to third on the wild pitch by Drolly. And if my count's right, that's going to be the 4th wild pitch of the game from Drolly. He has struggled to find the strike zone as Turner Hill walks for the 2nd consecutive time. And Dylan Ott will come to the plate now. Ott moved Hill over on the 4-3 ground out in that 1st inning, moved Hill over to third base and put him 90 feet away so that he could score on that wild pitch. Runners at the corners now to Ott as he fouls that one over the first base dugout. Hill on first, Stewart on third. The corners are playing a little bit in front of the bags. Middle's playing in double play depth. So it appears as the Scouts will concede that runner at third and Stewart. They just want 2 outs. They check on Hill over at first base. Didn't throw it too hard over there. And Hill slides in easy. Drolly actually got the win against the Settlers. He threw those 3 innings. The most innings he's thrown was against this Settler team. As that pitch hits Dylan Ott square in the back, so the struggles continue for the right-handed pitcher. That's the 2nd batter he's hit, and that'll load him up for the 3-hitter in Sam Wilson. Wilson also walked in his first at-bat. Drolly has walked 3 hitters and hit 2. And Wilson comes up now with the bases loaded and nobody out. Corners even with the bag, middles in double play depth. First pitch in the dirt. Once again, that's being a reoccurring theme here in these first 2 innings. There are some Scouts down the right field line starting to work on some bands. Haven't seen anybody get up to throw quite yet. So they're going to leave Drolly in there. They don't have a lot of guys on the pitching staff right now available. 1-0 into Wilson. That's chopped to the third baseman in Darnell. He's going to come home for 1. They try to go for first for 2. And yes, he is out at first, but Turner Hill, the heads-up play to round third and force a throw. He will score. So Sam Stewart, the 5-2 putout, and then Sam Wilson, 5-2-3. But Turner Hill comes all the way around to score the 5th run of the game. And Dylan Ott will move into third base. Turner Hill was dead to rights. Quite frankly, if that was a good throw, he would have been out, and that could have been actually a triple play to get him out of the inning with no runs conceded. But the Settlers are able to force a throw. The throw was wild. And they lead this ball game 5-1 in the bottom of the 2nd. Garrett Roberts up now, takes up and in. 4-1. Roberts was hit right in the back. In his first at-bat, he scored later on. Top 5 in the league in RBIs, has a chance for another one right here. Is that pitch in the dirt? 2 balls and no strikes, 2 outs. Dylan Ott on third base. Settlers lead 5-1 in the bottom of the 2nd inning. They have 1 here this inning, had a 4 spot up in the 1st. Drolly the 2-0. That pitch grounded to the left side. It's Darnell. Backhands it on the line. Long throw over to first base in time to get Roberts. So what appeared to be a big inning working for these Settlers. They're only able to get 1 run across the board here. They get 1 run on 1 hit. No errors and 1 left on base. We head to the 3rd. Settlers lead 5-1. We've played 2 complete innings here from Don Edwards Park. Settlers do lead 5-1. Settlers have 5 runs on 3 hits. They also have an error. The Scouts 1 run on 1 hit, and they have 2 errors. As we start off with the top of the 3rd inning, it's going to be Carson Wright, Chandler Chambers, and Ryan Bertelsmann due up as Wright squares the bunt, but takes that pitch low and inside. Wright, in his first plate appearance, flew out to center field. It was Turner Hill that tracked that one, had it read all the way. As that pitch fouled off over the third base dugout. Coach Robbie Howell tries to jump, but he was about 30 feet short or so. That'll even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Chris Sparks had an easy second inning, got out 1-2-3 after he pitched fairly well in that first inning. That 1 run unearned as it came off the air as he misses outside. 2 balls on the scoreboard now. He looked as if he was going to get out of it in 4 hitters, wouldn't concede a run, but the error brought one around and extended the inning, but was able to get out of it with only that 1 run given up as that pitch once again misses outside. 3 balls and a strike. Now to hitter in Carson Wright. Carson Wright, one of 2 Lipscomb University baseball players. As he takes a walk, and that'll be the 2nd walk given up by Chris Sparks, right-handed starting pitcher for the Settlers, as Carson Wright's college teammate and high school teammate Chandler Chambers will come up now. Chambers was the other walk in that first inning. He was the only run that came around to score. Chambers playing center field today. Also goes to Lipscomb. It's kind of a cool little tidbit that him and Carson Wright have been playing since high school. As he squares the bunt, takes it high. And Sparks comes out of the dugout here, throwing a little high, a little low. This was a 5-pitch walk to Carson Wright, starts Chandler Chambers off with a ball. That's usually when you can see what kind of day Sparks is going to have as he checks on Wright over at first. He's struggling with his control, as most pitchers. He'll walk some, strikeouts will be down. He has already 3 strikeouts here today. If you look at his last outing, had 7 walks, 4 strikeouts, got the loss as that bounces off the glove of Baker. That'll go as a passed ball, as Carson Wright will move into second base off the passed ball. And Michael Sandman's going to come out of the dugout very quickly as his starting pitcher, Chris Sparks, struggling to find that strike zone right now. Sparks, as we talked about, against the St. Clair Green Giants, 5 innings, gave up 5 runs in that one. 2 hits, 7 walks, 4 strikeouts. Against the Jazz, yes, he gave up 6 runs, 7 hits, but he had 9 strikeouts and 1 walk. He got the win in that one. You should look at his college stats as well. Was doing a little bit better when he has those strikeouts above the walks, as most of the Settler pitchers had struggled with that early on in the season. But the Settler pitching staff, especially the starters, have really come around as of late. Over the last 7 games, Settler pitching staff, that pitch bunted foul to the left side to Chambers. That'll move the count to 2 balls and a strike. Over the last 7 games, the Settler pitching staff has averaged just under 11 strikeouts and about 3.5 walks per game. And that is a huge difference to what we saw at the start of the season. If you remember, Settler pitchers were walking 10-plus batters per game. Usually right around the 8 to 9, but there were a few games where they had 10-plus. That pitch misses high off the glove of Baker once again, and that'll move right into third base. So Wright walked, moved to second on the pass ball, and now he's over at third off another pass ball. And that'll put the Scouts with a runner 90 feet away as they try to cut into this 5-1 lead here in the top of the 3rd inning. 3-1 pitch. Catches the inside corner. Chambers did not agree with it. And that'll run the count to full. Sparks looking for the first out here in this 3rd inning. His Settler batting order has given him a 4-run lead. As that pitch grounded to Roberts at third, takes a tough hop, thought about coming home, but will go to 1. And the throw in time, but the run will score on the RBI ground out by Chandler Chambers. And the Xenia Scouts will score their 2nd run of the game. It's a 5-2 lead for the Settlers here in the top of the 3rd inning. That'll bring Ryan Bertelsmann to the dish now. Bertelsmann, a strikeout victim in his first at-bat. Comes up with nobody on, 1 out. Sparks will be able to go back to the windup. Try to check his swing. Yes, he did, says home plate umpire Justin Mann. Bertelsmann behind the count, no balls and a strike. Bertelsmann didn't see a lot of action this year for the Baylor Bears in his sophomore season. Only played in 3 games in his freshman season as he looks at that one low in the dirt. Pretty much same spot from starting pitcher Chris Sparks, but Bertelsmann able to lay off of that one. Baylor, of course, in the Big 12. Didn't come to West Virginia this year. West Virginia traveled to them down in Waco. So that pitch up and in for ball 2. Bertelsmann 4th in the entire league in stolen bases, so if he can get on, he's always a threat to run. He has 10 stolen bases this year. So he sees that one for a strike. Sparks able to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch. Low and outside, runs the count 2 full. Sparks laboring here in this 3rd inning. Had a full count to Carson Wright. Another full count to Carson Chandler Chambers. Get those C's out of my mouth. And now a full count to Ryan Bertelsmann. Looked at for a ball, just misses inside. You can see Sparks puts his hand over his mouth. He couldn't believe that one was called for a ball. Made a good pitch. And that'll be the 2nd walk of the inning. So Bertelsmann gets on first base, and the Scouts still in this 3rd inning here. Took Sparks less than 10 pitches to get out of the 2nd inning, and he has exceeded that. He's thrown about 20 here in this 3rd inning. As Luke Boylston will come to the dish now, looks at a strike. Sparks getting ahead of a hitter. Boylston did get on the error in that 1st inning. He grounded that ball to Eddie Pena at short. As the runner in Bertelsmann goes, that pitch flared over Eddie Pena's head into left field. The runner in Bertelsmann will get to 3rd base off the throw from a shallow left field. So a single here by Boylston, and that'll put 2 Scouts on base, runners at the corners now with still only 1 out. There's some action down in the Settler bullpen. Some of the guys starting to go sit out there. Nobody throwing just yet, but very soon they might start throwing. As Dugan Darnell will dig into the left-handed batter's box now. Darnell had a single in his first at-bat. He's senior from Northville, Michigan. Goes to Adrian College. So he looks at that pitch for a ball. Settler starting pitchers have been doing a good job going late into games. Besides Luke Torbert a few games ago against the Locos, Settler pitching staff had been going about 6 to 7, maybe even 8 innings. As Sparks misses once again outside. That's been the real difference here in probably the last 8 games or so, was the pitching staff doing a great job keeping them in games, but it's been the hitters that have not been able to keep up their end of the deal. As that pitch misses once again, 3 balls and no strikes. As Sparks in danger of walking his 3rd batter in this inning, 4th on the game. Year started off with the Settler hitters getting on base, scoring runs. Pitching staff wasn't there as that pitch taken for a strike. And now it's been reversed here in the last 8 games or so. Pitching staff doing a great job, as we've said. If they can get their starter deep into games, it gives them a real good chance to win there. As that pitch fouled to the left side. Roberts going to give chase, but it's going to get just out of play as some hands reach up in the grandstands over there behind 3rd base, and then we'll run the count now to full. Sparks getting back in this count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. 5-2 ball game here in the 3rd inning. There are runners at the corners. Bertelsmann on 3rd, Boylston on 1st. That pitch flared into shallow center. Going to be a long run for Turner Hill as he will make the catch. A great running catch by Turner Hill as the runners will stay at their respective bases. Turner Hill, the long run from center field, able to snag that one near his shoestrings. Eddie Pena giving chase as well. It was going to be a tough play for him going over his shoulder. If that ball drops, not sure if Bertelsmann would have taken off or not. He was a couple feet off, so he wasn't going to tag. But a great play by Turner Hill to keep those runners at first and third as Truman Brown, the catcher, steps to the dish now, cuts through the first pitch he sees. He was a strikeout victim in his first at-bat, struck out looking on a good 2-2 fastball from Chris Sparks to end that first inning. 2 outs on the board, no balls, 1 strike. Pitch misses outside for a ball. Truman Brown, Austin Peay State University, be going into his senior season. He's had a heck of a day behind the dish so far. He's starting at catcher for the Scouts, seeing a lot of balls in the dirt, a lot of balls above him, all over the place as Sam Drawley, starting pitcher for the Scouts, hasn't been able to find the strike zone too often. So Brown getting his money worth today. He actually started his career at Columbia State Community College. He was injured in the final 3 months of the season as he looks at that pitch up and in. Once again, Sparks in danger of walking the bases loaded. Walked 2 already this inning. Brown batting 185 on the season. It's 4 for his last 10. That pitch looked at for a ball, and he will walk. There are 3 walks now in this inning from starting pitcher Chris Sparks. And the bases will be full of Scouts as Cale Baker comes to the mound now to talk to his starting pitcher, calm him down just a little bit. It'll be Felix King coming up now. King grounded to the shortstop, Eddie Pinion, to start off the second inning in his first at-bat. This is only King's 5th start on the season, so hasn't started too many games, just starting to get more action here as of late. He's 3 for his last 13, does in fact have a home run and 2 RBIs. A single would surely get 1 home and possibly 2. So that pitch misses outside once again for Sparks. Sparks struggling here in this 3rd inning. 3 walks and a single. Had put 1 run across as that pitch misses up and in. And Michael Sandman is going to make another visit on the mound. He is going to go to the bullpen. So a short leash for Chris Sparks today. Sandman wasting no time going to the pen as he makes the slow walk out to the mound. And Chris Sparks' day will be done after 2 2/3 innings. He will exit with the bases loaded, but his team does have a 5-2 lead. We'll get the relief pitcher here in just a second, and we'll take a quick break. Settlers lead 5-2, top 3.
Change for your Lincoln County Settlers on the mound, number 38, Spencer Bird.
Chris Sparks exits this ball game after 2 2/3 innings. He leaves the bases loaded and gives way to Spencer Berg. 6'3", 230-pound left-hander from Gahanna, Ohio, plays his collegiate baseball at Baldwin Wallace College. This will be Spencer's 7th appearance on the season. He has a 7.44 ERA and 9 2/3 innings of work, 10 strikeouts, 8 walks, and 18 hits. Berg has been one of the more stable guys of this bullpen. If you look at his stats online, it says he gave up all 8 of the 8 runs against the Xenia Scouts. I believe that is false. I think there was some mistyping on that, but that was the only game he had runs given up. He's given up no runs, at least earned runs, in any other game so far this season. Been one of the steady guys out of that bullpen, able to come in, throw strikes. He'll strike some guys out as well and hold some guys on a base. Last appearance, he actually pitched last night through an inning, a third of an inning, and got a strikeout on one batter that he faced. So we'll inherit a 2-0 count to the batter in King. First pitch to him inside for a ball. So Berg comes out of the pen, throws one pitch, and finds himself in danger of walking a run in here in this third inning. Scouts already with 1 run across, possibly 2 here after this pitch from Berg. That's looked at for a strike. King did not agree with that. He put his head down and started towards first base, maybe trying to influence the home plate umpire, Justin Mann, but Mann was not fooled. He was calling that a strike, so a 3-1 count now to King. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 5-2 ball game here in the top of the third inning. As Berg comes set and delivers the 3-1. That pitch fouled straight back. Good job by Berg. Coming in and throwing strikes. He's 1 pitch away from getting out of this disastrous third inning. Only 1 run given up thus far, but 3 walks, 1 hit, and the bases are loaded at the moment. Big at-bat right here if Berg can find his way out of this one. The 3-2, runners go. That pitch pops straight up in the air. Going to be a tough play for Baker. He throws his mask off, and then it'll get into foul ground, and we'll do it one more time as the runners will go back to their respective bases, and we'll await the 3-2 from Spencer Berg. Berg had a great outing against the Lima Locos. He actually got the loss, but he threw 2 innings, faced 8 hitters, struck out 3 of them. Gave up the only run of that game with that 1-0 loss, but as I said, not earned, and it was a great outing from him out of the pen. The 3-2. Runners go, looked at, ball 4 as he misses just low. So Bertelsmann will come in to score. Boylston will move to third, Brown to second, and King will head to first base with the 2-out walk. 2 runners have come across to score in this top of the third inning. 4 walks, 1 single. So that'll bring Zach Bacon to the dish now. Bacon was a strikeout victim in his first at-bat. Obviously on Chris Sparks, the starting pitcher. Sparks put Berg in a tough spot. Gave him a 2-0 count with the bases loaded. Berg threw 1 pitch, found himself 1 pitch away from walking him, able to get it back to full. We'll have a fresh count and a fresh hitter here to the right-handed hitting second baseman. Berg checks the runner and comes set. First pitch fouled back by Bacon as Berg gets ahead in the count here early on. Bacon from Seminole, Florida, Glenville State College, as we said. Played Chad Harper twice this year, 1-1 versus West Liberty. Only batted .200 on the season. Had 17 hits. So not too many appearances for Bacon as he's getting a lot of reps here in this summer thus far. A 1 swung on and missed. Good pitch by Spencer Berg as he does a little pirouette after throwing that. Strike number 2. Berg ahead in the count. No balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. 5-2 ball game in the top of the third inning. Bases are full of Scouts at the moment as Berg tries to limit the damage and put his team back in the dugout up by 2. The 0-2 misses high. 1 ball in, 2 strikes. Berg this season for Baldwin Wallace, 23 innings, 19 hits, 9 runs, 10 strikeouts, 10 walks, 21 strikeouts. Big strikeout guy. 1-2 pitch, strike number 3. Berg comes in and retires Bacon, but not before the Scouts able to push 2 across. They scored 2 runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 3 left on base. We head to the bottom of the third. Settlers lead 5-3.
Jane and Mike McDonald. Jim and Crystal Falk. John Pardo and Michelle Sommersworth. DJ and Malcolm Lyons. Trevor and Brooke Donaldson. Tina Bell. Chad and Myra Gamble. Valerie and Steve Peter. Dave Douglas. And Scott and Stacy Bowman. Thank you very much for housing the Licking County Settlers for the season. Thank you. Starting off your Licking County Settlers at the bottom of the third. For Cale Baker.
5-2 ball game in the bottom of the third inning here from Don Edwards Park on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. A great day to play two games. Rain not in the forecast at all. So we're going to play 2 sevens. It's the Licking County Settlers and the Xenia Scouts. Settlers lead 5-3 as Cale Baker steps up for his second plate appearance. It'll be Baker, Pena, and Dill here in the third inning to face starting pitcher Sam Drawley. Baker in his first at-bat had an RBI single. Later came around to scores. He looks at another pitch, this time for a strike. Drawley has been struggling with control thus far in this game. Has 3 walks, 2 hit by pitches, giving up 2 hits as well, but able to limit the damage to only 5 runs. That pitch lifted down the right field line, hooking foul, as that will get out of the park, and Baker will be in a hole. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He leads off this third inning. Baker, that was only his 4th single of the season. He's had 10 hits on the year. 6 of those have gone for extra bases. So if Cale Baker hits one, it's going pretty far. So he looks for his second hit in this ball game. Had 2 hits 2 nights ago. Big 2 for 4 day as that pitch misses high. Curveball from Drawley over the head of Baker. Drawley in his third inning of work. He hasn't gone more than 3 innings this season. The only appearance he went 3 innings was against Licking County Settlers, and that was in relief. He actually picked up the win through the 8, 9, 10 innings. That pitch looked at low and away. For ball 3, Baker able to work this count back to full. Baker only has 6 walks on the season, 222 strikeouts. 3-2 offering. Hit hard into left field. Left fielder Boylston going back. He looks up off the base of the wall as Baker thought it was gone. He's going to have to hustle to get into second base, and he'll slide in safely with a leadoff double for Cale Baker. He just missed hitting another one out. Wind at a standstill right now. Normally we see that wind blowing out towards left field. So had it been blown out, he might have gotten that one out. Didn't even sound like he hit it in a good part of the bat. It sounded like he might have fisted that one, but still able to get it over the left fielder's head in Boylston, and he slides into second base with a leadoff double here in the bottom of the third as Eddie Pena will come to the dish now. Pena 1 for 1 today, had an RBI single as well in that first inning as he looks at ball number 1. Pena part of back-to-back RBI singles. It was him and Baker that brought the 3rd and 4th runs home in that first inning. Settlers put up a big 4 spot after giving up a run in the top half. They now lead 5-3 as that pitch inside, but called a strike by home plate umpire Justin Mann. Pena from Fresno State University started off his collegiate career at Fresno City College, went the JUCO route and worked his way up to a big-time Division I program there at Fresno State with the Bulldogs. 1-1 swung and missed by Pena. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Pena stands in 5'10", 160 pounds, one of the smaller guys on this Licking County team. Plays a pretty good shortstop, though. Makes a lot of real great plays. Makes a lot of tough plays. He made a couple ones up the middle, spinning towards first base. Real accurate throws is Pena as he tries to stay alive, and does. Keeps the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes. In his first at-bat, got down the count 0-2 and was able to shoot one into right field. A great 2-strike approach, just going with the pitch, waiting back on it, letting it travel into the hitting zone, and depositing it into right field on the 1 hop to the right fielder and right, and scoring a run. As 1-2 comes in, looked at in the dirt, bounces. Baker not going to try it with Brown. Didn't get a good read on that one. Brown has been getting his money's worth behind the plate tonight, as Drawley has struggled to find the strike zone. Drawley's thrown a number of pitches in the dirt. Actually has 3 wild pitches today and a balk as well. Drawley in his first start this season. That pitch laced into left field. It'll be a base hit. Pena's 2 for 2. As Baker will get to third, Pena stops at first with the single, and it's back-to-back hits here in this bottom of the 3rd inning for the Settlers, as they look to score for the 3rd consecutive inning here in this ball game. Nathan Dill will come to the bat now. Dill, the right-handed hitting first baseman from Butler University. He's 0 for 1 today. He does, in fact, have an RBI, though. Grounded out to short, and it scored Sam Wilson. As he looks at the first pitch, curveball on the inner half, taken for a strike. Dill 6'4", 220, batting .250 on the season. Goes to Butler. He only saw action in 6 games. They check on Pena once again. Drawley's thrown over to first base twice. Neither of those times have they been real attempts. He just kind of stepped off and flipped it over to the first baseman in King. As Pena gets his lead, not a big lead over that first base by any stretch. That pitch misses inside. Drawley nearly hit his 3rd batter of this game. It'll be interesting to see how long they let Drawley go. Yes, he's only given up 5 runs. It could have been a lot worse. Settlers had the bases loaded and nobody out last inning. But he's only thrown 3 innings max this season so far. As Pena goes, pitch fouled to the right side. Watch out down there. A lot of people here today. There's a lot of baseball games going on at some of the other fields. So we have a lot of youth teams here today, so a lot of action here around this complex. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes to the right-handed hitting Nathan Dill. Nobody out, runners at the corners. Settlers lead 5-3 here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. That pitch shot right at the second baseman, goes to first for 2, and for the 2nd consecutive inning, a double play might prove costly against the Settlers. Great job by Bacon, the second baseman, in the right position as Dill hit that one hard right at him, and Pena caught off of first base to double him off. So just like that, Settlers have 1 man aboard in Baker with 2 outs. Brings Brendan Ellis to the plate as that pitch gets away. Another wild pitch will bring a runner around. And just like that, the Settlers score another run. Baker comes around to score on the wild pitch. You thought maybe the Settlers not going to be able to get a run across the board after the double play, but thankfully Drawley throws a wild pitch and he scores. 1-1 count now, 2 outs to the right-handed hitting Brendan Ellis. Ellis in his first at-bat did strike out as he looks at another strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ellis 0 for his last 20. Looking for his first hit in about 2 weeks as he sees another pitch, strike 3, 2 strikeouts as Ellis does not agree with that call. This time looking, Settlers able to scrape 1 run across the board as they head to the 4th inning. They lead 6-3.
Today will be our sights and sounds inning here at Doubleheader Park. So this next top of the inning, we'll sit back, relax, and listen to the sights and sounds of baseball.
Spencer Berg retains the pitching mound here for the top half of the fourth inning. He came in relief for starting pitcher Chris Sparks. Close the book on Chris Sparks. He went 2 2/3 innings, gave up 3 runs, 2 earned, 2 hits, 3 strikeouts, 4 walks. But it was the inconsistency finding the strike zone that got him out of that third inning. And Spencer Berg came in at a 2-0 count. He walked home a run, but did strike out Zach Bacon to end the inning. He'll have 9-1-2 here in the fourth inning. 6-3 lead for the Settlers over the Xenia Scouts. Tuttle 0 for 1 today, had a ground out to Eddie Pena at short in his first at-bat as Spencer Berg starts off this at-bat with a strike. Tuttle 5 for his last 12. Been one of the hotter hitters on this Xenia Scouts team, a Scouts team that is no stranger to close games. They play just about everybody pretty close. That pitch nearly hits Tuttle. Evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Tuttle goes to the Masters University. He played in 53 games this past year, batted .236, 35 hits, 17 stolen bases, so a good speed threat on the bases for these Scouts. A lot of these Scouts are quick guys as that pitch misses outside. 2 balls now. Scouts have 38 stolen bases on the year. They're stealing bases at about 82% rate. We've seen a lot of base runners on opposing teams steal some bases on this Settler team as that pitch lifted into right field. Alice settling under it and will make the catch for out number 1. First batter retired for Spencer Berg on the fly out to right field by Nicholas Tuttle, as it'll be the top of the order coming up now for their 3rd time around. This will be the first time they are facing Spencer Berg. It'll be the lefty in Carson Wright. Carson 0 for 1 today. He flew out in the first inning to center field and then walked and later came around to score in the 3rd inning. Xenia scored 1 in the first, 2 in the third. Settlers 4 in the first, 1 in the second, and 1 in the third as it's a 6-3 ball game as that pitch misses inside to the leadoff man in Carson Wright. Carson, one of those 2 Lipscomb University baseball players. He was actually the 11th best outfielder in the entire state of Tennessee as that pitch misses once again. So big-time recruit for Lipscomb. 2-0 pitch from Berg. That pitch chopped to the second baseman in Wilson. He'll field it on the big hop, fire to Nathan Dill, and retire Carson Wright. Carson 2-0 swinging, rolls over that one, and hits it right to Sam Wilson over at second base. 2 up, 2 down here in the 4th inning for relief man Spencer Berg as he'll get the other Lipscomb Bison and Chandler Chambers. Him and Wright, obviously, as we've said, high school teammates, now college teammates. Chambers also 0 for 1 today. He walked and scored in the first and grounded out to Roberts at third last inning. Berg comes set and delivers first pitch to Chambers high for a ball. Chambers fouls that one. Looks like he got a piece of Baker, maybe his hand, as the count will move to 1 ball and 1 strike. Chandler Chambers only batted .138 this season for the Bison. His Bison team actually played Tennessee Tech and Vanderbilt this year. Tough schedule for them. They lost to Tennessee Tech 27-7 and 17-6. Actually beat Vanderbilt, however, 5-1. Vanderbilt, of course, played in the Super Regional, this NCAA tournament. Ended up losing to Mississippi State. That was one heck of a battle. If you've been keeping up with the College World Series, went to 3 games. All 3 of those games, I believe, were decided by 1 run as Chambers fouls that one back. Of course, Oregon State winning the College World Series for the 3rd time in their history, defeating Arkansas in 3 games. Oregon State down to their final strike in game number 2. That pitch, the final strike to Chandler Chambers, as he will be retired. And we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Scouts, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. A nice easy 1-2-3 inning for the relief man in Berg. Settlers lead 6-3. We head to bottom 4. We're halfway home here from Newark, Ohio. Settlers lead the Xenia Scouts 6-3. Bottom four only playing 7 today, as we do have a doubleheader. So it'll be 2 7-inning games. So it'll be 9-1-2 for the Settlers. Sam Stewart to lead off this bottom of the 4th inning as he sees a strike. Stewart doubled in his first at bat. Moved to third on a wild pitch, but was part of the 5-2-3 double play as he sees another strike from starting pitcher Sam Drolly. Stewart does have 4 hits on the year. He's 4 for 8. So he looks at another pitch, this time low for a ball. Stewart getting the start as a designated hitter. We've seen him in the outfield twice. However, getting a start in right field as that pitch lifted to the right side, but going to get foul. Got his first start up in St. Clair because the Settlers just didn't have a full roster. Not everybody went for, whether it be there was a wedding, there was passport issues, just stuff like that. So not everybody came up to Canada. Stewart got the start, had a pair of hits last night, so he's going to be back in the starting lineup as he sees another pitch low and outside, evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So we may see Stewart in the lineup more frequently now as he's swung the bat well as that ball hit hard past the diving shortstop in Tuttle, and Sam Stewart 5 for 9 on the year. There's another base hit for him. He's 2 for 2 on the day with a double and a single, as that'll bring up the top of the order in Turner Hill. Turner has not had an official at-bat yet today. He has 2 plate appearances, walked both of those times, and has scored twice. So third baseman in Darnell comes in. Turner, first pitch swinging and swings through for strike 1. Stewart pretty quick on the base pass as well, has 2 stolen bases this season. So the Scouts should be wary of the relief pitcher. 0-1. Turner squares the bunt, pulls it back, and takes for a ball, evens the count at 1 apiece. Turner had 2 real good at-bats. Both at-bats have gone 2 full counts, jacking up the pitch count of Drolly as Stewart starts but then stops. That pitch flared into left field, hooking foul, and it will get out of play just over the Settler bullpen down that left field line. You see a lot of guys sitting on the bench out there just kind of hanging out, enjoying the beautiful day as Hill's behind the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Drolly so far getting his first start, as you might call him wildly effective, is he's only given up 6 runs as Stewart goes. That pitch fouled to the left side once again. Going to remain the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Could have been a lot worse, as the Settlers had the bases loaded and nobody out in the 2nd inning, only able to score once. They had runners at 1st and 3rd last inning and only able to score 1 run. So besides that 4-run first inning, as they check on Stewart at first, besides that 4-run first inning, he's been able to get himself out of jams. This being his first start, he's only gone 3 innings. This will be his longest appearance of the season. 1-2 pitch to Hill. Fouled off the left side once again, so Turner Hill doing a great job battling here against the starting pitcher, Sam Drolly. Scouts don't have a lot of arms in the bullpen or in the dugout in general. Have a couple injuries. Obviously had some guys that threw last night, so they had to go to one of their relief pitchers to start game number 1 here today. Have game 2 later as that pitch taken for a ball. Good eye by Turner. Turner's walked 9 times on the season. He's one of 2 guys that has more walks than strikeouts. That pitch misses. Looks like he got a piece of the catcher in Brown, as he might have taken that one off the thigh. And once again, Turner Hill finds himself in a full count. He's walked twice already today as Brown, the catcher, tries to walk this one off, hands the ball back to his pitcher. You see him flexing out that left leg there. Drolly's been all over the place. When I said wildly effective, yes, 6 runs could easily be 10 to 12. As we've seen the Settlers put a lot of men aboard couple of double plays have gotten the Scouts out of it. A 5-2-3 double play in the second and a 4-3 line out. Picked off Pena off first base. Got him out of last inning. 3-2, Stewart goes. Hill grounds it to the right side. It's through past the diving King. Stewart gonna round second base and head to third. Turner Hill has his first hit of the ball game. A good hit and run. Stewart goes on the pitch. Turner Hill able to hit it hard past the diving King over at first base and into right field. And the Settlers once again have runners aboard and a chance to score some runs, as Dylan Ott is the hitter now. Ott 0 for 1 today, grounded out in the first inning. It was a productive ground out. He moved Turner Hill into scoring position at third base and was hit by a pitch as Turner Hill goes throw down from the catcher, and Brown not in time as Turner Hill goes in standing up. Not sure if he thought there wouldn't be a throw there. It was a pretty close play for him to go in standing up, but nonetheless, he's safe at second base. Runners at second and third. Nobody out. Dylan Ott. Drowley goes from the windup. That pitch fouled back. Gonna move the count to 1-1. Ott's been pretty cold as of late. He's 3 for his last 18. Another guy in this team that once led the league in batting average. He was hitting right around 500. Him and Sam Wilson both at one point batting near, if not at 500, as Ott fouls that one back. But he struggled. Last night, Ott went 1 for 5. He had 2 games in a row where he didn't even have a hit. He'd been going strong, at least getting 1 hit a game. His infield stays back for the Scouts. That pitch bounces off the helmet and into the stands. That pitch hit the front of the plate, then bounced off the helmet of the catcher, Brown, and went over the backstop. And that's probably going to be the strangest souvenir you'll ever see at a baseball game. So you can score Sam Stewart on the wild pitch. That's run number 7. Turner Hill tried to come home, get the umpire to give him home plate, but he'll be stopped at third base. Ott has a 2-2 count on the wild pitch by Drowley. That pitch lifted to the right side. First baseman King gives chase, but runs out of room. A tough play just out of his reach on that right side. So Ott's count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out. Runner at third base in Turner Hill. Settlers have already put 1 run across the board here today. Haven't seen anybody else in the bullpen for the Scouts. Saw a couple guys stretching earlier as Ott swings through that one for strike number 3. Got a piece of it, but Brown was able to hang on for out number 1. That'll bring Sam Wilson to the plate now. Sam Wilson, he's 0 for 1 today. He walked in the first inning and later came around to score. And he was part of that 5-2-3 double play ground out in the second inning. Bases loaded, nobody out. Hit it sharply to the third baseman, Darnell. Threw home, then threw to first to King. It was actually nearly a triple play as Turner Hill came all the way from second base to score on that one as Wilson takes that pitch for a strike. Hill was dead to rights if it was a good throw by the first baseman King, but King just kind of, I think he was shocked that Turner Hill was going to try it, overthrew it as that pitch fisted to the shortstop in Tuttle. Hill field and fire to first base for out number 2, but that'll bring Turner Hill around to score. 8-3 lead, lead for the Settlers on the 6-3 ground out, RBI ground out, that is, by Sam Wilson. Garrett Roberts heads to the dish now. He was hit by a pitch in the first inning, came around to score, then grounded to the third baseman in the second inning. So he's 0 for 1 today. Roberts coming up with nobody on. We already talked about he's one of the leading RBI guys in this league as he fouls his first pitch back. So with guys on base, Garrett Roberts is one that you want standing up to plate. Good power from Roberts. As the wind starts to pick up, blowing out towards left field, that ball in the dirt. Wish I had a count on how many balls we've seen hit the dirt before they get to home plate. The catcher in Brown is just getting absolutely beat up behind home plate today. So that pitch misses low once again. 2 balls and 1 strike. The right-handed hitter from Utica, Ohio. Local kid that always wanted to play for the Settlers. That pitch flown into left field but not deep enough as Boylston tracks it and fields it for out number 3. Settlers able to push 2 runs across on 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left on base as we head to the 5th. Settlers 8, Scouts 3. Bertelsmann, Boylston, and Darnell due up in the top half of the 5th for the Xenia Scouts. They trail the Licking County Settlers 8-3. As we are over halfway home, only a 7-inning game here today as we are playing one more about 30 minutes following this one. Spencer Berg toes the rubber once again and delivers a strike first pitch into Bertelsmann. Bertelsmann today 0 for 1. He struck out in the first inning to the starting pitcher Chris Sparks and walked in the 3rd. Later came around to score the 3rd run of the game. That pitch roped into right field. Good piece of hitting by Bertelsmann as he takes that fastball into right field and leads off this 5th inning with a single. It's the 2nd leadoff hitter to reach in this game for the Scouts. Settler pitchers have done a good job getting that first batter to get out in any way, shape, or form as Luke Boylston, the left fielder, will dig into the right-handed batter's box now. Boylston has reached base twice. First inning was via the air, had an RBI, and then reached on the singles. The runner goes in. Bertelsmann, throw down from Baker, not in time. So Bertelsmann slides in safely with his 11th stolen base of the season. He's 4th best in the entire league. He's a good runner, got a good jump, especially in the lefty in Berg. So that pitch missed for a ball. Scouts have a man on second base now. 1-0 count for Boylston. Boylston, as we said, reached on air and has a single. He's been on base twice today. Got a pesky batter in that batter's box. That pitch misses outside. 2 balls and a strike. Excuse me, 1 ball and 1 strike. He did swing at that first pitch from Spencer Berg. So 1-1 count, nobody out, runner on second base, and Bertelsmann 5-run lead for the Settlers. So that pitch catches the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Through 4 innings, Settlers 8 runs on 7 hits. They've committed 1 error. Scouts 3 runs on 3 hits. They also have an error. It's a 1-2 fisted towards the pitcher in Berg. He fields with the bare hand and flips it over to first and retires Boylston. He will move the runner in Bertelsmann over to 3rd base, but Spencer Berg running the fastball in on the hands to Boylston. He's lucky he didn't break his bat on that one. He wasn't really able to get much of a piece of it as he slowly hit it down the first base line. Berg doing a great job coming off the mound, feeling his position, picking up and firing to first base for out number 1 as Dugan Darnell is your hitter now. Darnell 1 for 2 today. He singled in the first inning and flew out to center in the 3rd. First pitch from Berg. taken for a strike. Darnell looked as if he was going to offer at that pitch, but pulled it back, but probably should have taken a hack because that one went over right down the middle. He's down the count, no balls, aimed to strike. Second pitch from Berg, flipped into left field. That one will drop. Will it be fair? No. It gets just foul, about a foot or so down that left field line as Dylan Ott gave chase. He wasn't going to be able to make a play on it. And Berg finds himself ahead in this count, no balls and 2 strikes. Xenia scored 1 in the first and 2 in the third. They've been scoreless in the second and the fourth. So every other inning, they've been able to put up at least 1 run. Fifth inning, they'd be due for one as that pitch up and in for ball 1. These Xenia hitters, as we talked about, do a great job getting on base. They get on base about 40% of the time. Only able to push across about 7.5 runs they average, but they'll get on base and create some problems. That pitch roped into right field. That'll be an RBI single for Dugan Darnell, his second hit of the game. That'll bring Bertelsmann around to score. 8-4 now ball game. Here's the Scouts will not go away. Every time the Settlers score, which has been every inning, Scouts normally have a couple answers for them. As that'll bring Truman and Brown, the catcher, to the batter's box now. Truman struck out looking in the first inning and walked in the third as he has his third plate appearance. And I tell you what, Truman Brown probably has had the toughest game out of anybody as that pitch misses outside. He has been asked to block so many balls in the dirt. You saw one ball go off of his face mask, literally hit the top of home plate, hit his face mask, and ricocheted out of play over the backstop to score a run as he looks at another pitch out of the strike zone. Seems to every hitter, he's got 3 or 4 balls that are in the dirt, fouled off of him. He took one off the thigh, had to walk that one out. He's definitely going to need an ice bath after this as Berg misses on 3 straight pitches. That's something you usually don't see. As Berg continually pounds the strike zone, is he starting to lose Truman Brown here. Runner on first in Darnell, 1 away. Top of the 5th inning, 8-4 lead for the Licking County Settlers. This is game 1 of a doubleheader here on this Saturday. 3-0. That one misses, a 4-pitch walk to Truman Brown, and the Scouts have 2 men aboard with only 1 out as we're going to get a mound visit from head coach now, Michael Sandman. He was promoted to the head coach yesterday as the former head coach Charlie Poole was let go. So Sandman, head coach in his 4th game this season, a 1-2 record so far, has his Settler team up 8-4, and he's got a quick hook. He's not wasting any time. If he sees any sign of trouble, he will pull him. We saw that with Chris Sparks today. Chris Sparks went 2 2/3 innings. He pulled him in the middle of a hitter. Sparks got behind 2-0 on a hitter. He'd already walked 3 that inning, and Sandman had seen enough. Went to Spencer Berg, the lefty from Gahanna, Ohio. So he's not afraid to pull a guy in the middle of a hitter if he thinks they're starting to lose it. There are action in the bullpen. A lot of guys down the line in left field sitting on the bench. It looks like we're going to have a couple guys start to warm up. The Settlers sick of losing, obviously. 3-13 on the season. That pitch, good changeup from Berg, swung on way out in front by Felix King, the right-handed hitting first baseman. King 0 for 1 today. He grounded out to Eddie Pena at short and walked in the third. It was an RBI walk with the bases loaded. That was to Berg. So everybody on this Scout team has seen Berg at least once as he takes that pitch for a strike. King was the hitter with the 2-0 count. Berg came in, threw 1 pitch, had him up 3-0. Moved it back to full, but eventually did walk in the run with King. The 0-2. Swung on and missed. Got him to chase way outside, and that strikeout is going to be the 2nd of the day for Spencer Berg, and a big one at that. He had runners on first and second through 3 pitches. So a good meeting on the mound from Sandman as Berg comes back after the 4-pitch walk, a 3-pitch strikeout, and he is 1 out away from getting out of this jam. Zach Bacon will be the hitter now. Bacon 0 for 2 today with 2 strikeouts. He was a strikeout victim of Berg back in the 3rd inning. So it'll be 3 strikeouts total for Berg. That pitch outside. Bacon 3 for his last 12. He's been struggling as of late. Berg comes set, checks the runners, and delivers the 1-0. That pitch grounded on to Eddie Pena at short. Is going to flip and to second base over to Sam Wilson and retire the side. Scouts able to push 1 run across on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on base as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Settlers 8, Scouts 4.
Pitching James for the Xenia Scouts. On the mound, number 1, Zach Baker. Now batting for your Settlers, number 34, Kale Baker.
First pitch of Kale Baker flipped into left field, and it'll get down for another hit for Kale Baker. Baker's 3 for 3 on the day, 2 singles and a double. We apologize for the delay. We're trying to get all these substitutions in for these Scouts. It's Zach Bacon on the mound. Bacon started at second base, but he is now on the mound. Over at first base, it appears to be Boylson. Boylson's at first. King moves from first to catcher. And then it looks like there's going to be a new left fielder who we have yet to identify. We'll hopefully get that for you as soon as we can as Eddie Pena takes a ball outside. So Sam Drolly, 4 innings, 8 runs, 7 hits, 3 strikeouts, 3 walks, 2 hit by pitches. That pitch gets away from the new catcher in King as Baker moves to second base on the pass ball. Drolly also had 4 wild pitches, his longest outing of the season, his first start. I'll tell you what, not a terrible first start, as it could have been a whole lot worse. He got out of a few jams, a few timely double plays, as that pitch catches the outside corner for a strike. 2 balls and a strike to the right-handed hitting Eddie Pena. Drolly doing a good job limiting the damage and keeping as much as he could his Xenia Scouts in this game as Pena fouls that back in the glove of King. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's Eddie Pena. He's 2 for 2 today, has a pair of singles as well as an RBI. Baker stands on second base. Bottom 5, Settlers lead 8-4. The 2-2 from Bacon. Pops straight up on the infield, but it appears that it'll get into the grandstands right behind some youth players taking in a collegiate summer game here. There's a lot of youth games going on right now at this complex. We have 3 other fields, 1 to our right, 1 kind of out in right field, and 1 out in left field. Some of the guys in between games coming in and taking a Licking County Settler game in for today. 2-2 popped up once again. This one might stay in play as Boylson, the first baseman, gives chase, settles under it, and makes the catch for out number 1. So Pena pops up in foul ground to the new first baseman in Boylston for out number 1, and Baker stays on second base. Nathan Dill will be your new batter now. Dill 0 for 2 today, does have an RBI on the ground out in the first inning to the shortstop, popped up to the second baseman as well. So Dill looking for his first hit today. He's 4 for his last 14, double and 5 strikeouts. Got a 3-game hitting streak going right now. Looking to extend that to 4 games. So that pitch curveball misses high. We have not seen Zach Bacon on the mound yet this season. This will be his first appearance. He's not even listed as a pitcher. So Xenia obviously try to not use too many arms. They might feel like this game is out of reach. As we talked about, they didn't have a lot of pitchers on the pitching staff to begin with. Had a couple of injuries. Some guys threw last night. Drowley having to start today. He's normally a reliever. So not a lot of guys in the pen. That pitch taken for a strike. So you kind of have to go to your fielders now. Find out which guys have pitching experience and which guys feel comfortable back there on the mound. Bacon not throwing hard by any stretch of the imagination, but sometimes you see that kind of throw off the timing of hitters. They see a guy that's slower than normal, a guy that's just kind of going up there to throw it around the strike zone and see what he can do. It's 3-1 count now to Dill. And Bacon doing just that. You see in the major leagues all the time. Those fielders coming in blowouts. And sometimes they do better than the starters just because that timing, like we said, you're not used to a guy throwing as fielders do. As Dill swings through that one, big hack kind of fell over as he tried to pound that one into left field. And that'll move the count to full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 8-4 ball game. Cale Baker 3 for 3 today. Standing over on second base. Hopefully Cale able to start turning the corner. He didn't have a hit last night, but had 2 the game before that. He's starting to get hot. As Dill fouls that one off and throws his bat. While he's at it, as his teammate Sam Stewart has to throw it back to him from the dugout. And we get some more pine tar on that. It is a hot one out here today. It's 87 registering on the weather app here. 87 degrees, blue skies. The wind's been picking up every now and again, but nothing too consistent. Beautiful day for baseball, especially for 2 since we've had a lot of rain. The 3-2. That pitch popped up on the right side. Boylston and Brown give chase. It'll be Boylston taking it, and he will make the catch. And Dill is retired. 2 consecutive pop-ups to the first baseman in Boylston. And there are 2 away here as the right fielder in Brendan Alice will step into the batter's box now with a chance to score Cale Baker. Settlers have scored at least 1 run in every inning thus far. This could be the first one they put up a 0 on the board. 4 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, and 2 in the fourth as that pitch blown outside and in the dirt for ball 1. Alice, of course, from New Albany, Ohio, Northern Kentucky University native, has 2 strikeouts here today. 1 swinging and 1 looking. He's been in a big cold slump. So he looks at that pitch for a strike, evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Alice 0 for his last 21 with 7 strikeouts. Sometimes all it takes is just 1 hit that can turn you around. He's still searching for that first one as he swings through that pitch for a strike, and he finds himself down the count once again. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Baker gets his lead off of second base. 1-2 delivery. That pitch grounded to the left side. It's Darnell at third base, right at him, fields it, fires the first base ball, gonna bounce and gets away from the first baseman in Boylston. Baker being waved around from third. He will head in to score, and Brendan Alice will stop at second base as he reaches on the throwing error by the third baseman, Darnell. Mark that one up an E5, and Baker comes all the way around to score. It's a 9-4 lead here in Newark, Ohio. Darnell had 3 errors last time the Settlers squared off. All 3 of those came on Dylan Ott as he makes his first error of the ball game, and Sam Stewart will come to the plate now. Stewart 2 for 2 today. I see the second baseman Brown holding on Alice. Big hack by Stewart, but no contact. And Stewart, the pitcher, now turned hitter, has a double and a single, has also scored a run here today. He's 5 for 9 on the season, and he's hit the ball hard pretty much every time. So he swings them through and misses that one as Ellis heading to third base on the wild pitch, and he will get in safely. So Ellis moves 90 feet away off the wild pitch. 0-2 count here to Sam Stewart. Stewart in the designated hitter role. Has seen some action in the outfield. Played right field up in St. Clair. Did a stand-up job. Made a couple of plays on some fly balls. Nothing too tough out there as he's down 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the right-handed hitting Sam Stewart. Settlers lead 9-4. Bottom 5. 1-2. That one misses. That'll even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bacon, the second baseman, started this game in the infield, now finds himself on the mound. Trying to limit the damage here as he misses once again to Sam Stewart. So after being in the count, no balls and 2 strikes, it'll go full. Ellis on third, Stewart at the plate. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here it is. That pitch misses once again, gets away, and Ellis starts running but then stops. Got a fairly good bounce off the backstop to the catcher and King as Stewart reaches first on the walk. Ellis might not have seen it initially as he didn't get a big jump. Started after the pitch had already hit the backstop and realized he was probably going to be thrown out at home plate had he continued. So smart base running by Brendan Ellis leaves runners at first and third. Runners at the corners for the top of the order in Turner Hill. Turner is 1 for 1 today. He's walked twice and scored 3 times. Every time Turner's come up, he's got on and he has scored. Hill, left-handed hitter, standing in against the right-handed Bacon. First pitch to Hill. Looked at, bounced in the dirt. 4-1. So Felix King getting a little taste of what Truman Brown got the entire game. A lot of balls in the dirt, being asked to block them, taking them off your body. As that pitch sharply hit towards the second baseman in Brown. Fields it, flips it to second. No, bobbled it. He tried to flip it to second, dropped it, and then flipped it and throw it to first base to Boylston and had enough time to retire Hill. So the Settlers do get a run across here in this 5th inning. They get 1 run on 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 left on base. We head to the 6th. Settlers lead 9-4. Top of 6 here from Don Edwards Park, and Spencer Berg will give way to Cannon Duke, the 6'1", 180-pound right-handed sidearm pitcher from Parsons. Tennessee. This will be his 7th appearance on the season. He's thrown 6 innings, 4 strikeouts, 7 walks, 8 hits, 7.5 ERA is Duke's first pitch into Tuttle. It's taken for a ball. Duke will get the 9-1-2 hitters here in this 6th inning. Only playing 7, so Duke might just go the rest of the way as that pitch hit sharply to Pena. The short takes a tough hop on him as Tuttle will get to first base. We'll see if that's an error or a single. That was sharply hit. It'll be a tough play for Pena. And the leadoff man will be aboard for the 2nd consecutive inning in Nicholas Tuttle. Good pitch by Duke, get him to roll over, but took a weird hop. So that'll bring the top of the order, and Carson Wright to the plate now. Carson looks at that pitch for a ball. He's 0 for 2 today. He flew out to center in the 1st inning, walked in the 3rd, scored, and then grounded to 2nd in the 4th. So that'll be a base hit by Tuttle as they check on him over at first base. Cannon's last appearance came in against Grand Lake in that 9-8 loss. Didn't record an out, so he has technically 0 innings pitched. Gave up a run, 2 hits, and a walk in that loss. He got the loss that one. Runner goes, Baker threw down to 2nd. Not in time as Tuttle slides in safely. That was a good throw by Baker, right on the money, but just a little tardy as that pitch was taken for a ball. Back to Duke. Did get the loss in that one, only faced 3 hitters. Actually had a chance to get out of the game, got his first hitter he faced to pop up. But Pena and White lost it in the lights, and it fell. That would have been the last out of the game. Then the Mariners would go on to finish off their 8th run, 9th inning. That pitch misses inside for a ball. 3 balls and no strikes, the leadoff hitter in Wright. As the Mariners went on to win that one 9-8 in 9 innings. Settlers have had a knack really the entire season for finding ways to lose. You see some teams find ways to win. These Settlers are the opposite. They have found just about every way you could possibly lose a ball game as that pitch fouled straight back. 3-1. He was 3-0 swinging. Settlers, if you remember, they lost on a walk-off hit by pitch to the Scouts. Walk-off balk in the next game to the Graders. Gave up 10 runs in 2 innings to the Copperheads. Scouts got an 8-run spot in the 2nd inning, so it's been 1 or 2 innings and just every mistake you can imagine laid on in games for these Settlers this year. Hoping to turn the tide here today. A 3-1. Laced into center field. Turner Hill has a beat on it. Going to go over his right shoulder and make the catch. No tag from the runner in Tuttle. As Carson Wright got a good piece of that one. Just not able to hit it where the outfielders were not standing. Really hit it right at Turner Hill in center field, and Turner just went over his right shoulder about 5 or 6 steps or so and made the routine plays. Chandler Chambers will come to the dish now. Chambers 0 for 2 today as well with a walk and a run scored. Ground out and a strikeout. So he looks for his first hit of the game, has a runner standing on second base in Nicholas Tuttle. Duke comes set, checks his runner and delivers. First pitch swinging, good sinker by Duke for strike number 1. Scouts 1-4 in their last 5 games. They've been averaging about 9 runs per game over the last 7, however. Only 4 here today, so a little bit under average. They usually score a bunch of runs, and they give up a bunch of runs. Had a lot of close games. As the runner goes, Baker throw down to third base. Going to be in time, says the field umpire and Jimmy Craig. Great throw from Cale Baker, getting the runner in Tuttle on the caught stealing. Baker having to evade the hitter in Chambers to make that throw over there. Threw it right on the money to Garrett Roberts covering third base. Roberts really didn't have to move his glove for out number 2. Just like that, bases are empty. Here to the hitter in Chambers. That pitch lifted into left field. Ott will head towards his bullpen, give chase. Bullpen scatters, and that ball will get out of play. Ott kept checking his bullpen to see if they were going to get out of the way. They got out of the way very late. Thankfully didn't have to go crashing into them or crashing into the wall. We saw him a couple days ago against Lima, went crashing into that left field fence, nearly flipping over it, able to catch his balance and stay in play. Made the catch as well, as Duke has a 1-2 count. Now the number 2 hitter in Chambers, 2 away. Here's the pitch, hit sharply towards Pena at short once again. Pena fields this one, bobbles it, and will be an error as Pena waited back on that one as it took another funny hop. So that'll be an error on Eddie Pena, the shortstop. And I'm sure the Scouts wishing they still had that runner aboard or he made it to third base, as they would have scored on that play. So mark that up as an E6 for Eddie Pena, and Chandler Chambers will reach base for the second time today and give way to the third hitter in Ryan Bertelsmann. Bertelsmann actually went out to left field, so in all that shifting by the Scouts, it was Bertelsmann moved from DH to left field as that first pitch misses in the dirt. So the Scouts not really making any substitutions, just kind of shifting their fielders around. The pitcher was Bacon, he started at second, and everybody else just kind of flip-flop position. So Bertelsmann in left field, he's 1 for 2 today, has a strikeout, a walk, and a single. As the runner goes, Baker throw down to second base, not in time, as the Scouts have, I believe that's their 4th stolen base of the game today. I believe they are 4 for 5, and that's 41 stolen bases on the season for them. We've seen that a lot this year by opposing teams, just running really all day on these Settler catchers and the Settler pitching staff. You remember up in St. Clair, I want to say it was about 6 or 7 stolen bases in one game. It just seemed like every guy that got on first base was going to go. Big lead by the runner. That pitch taken for a strike. Chambers getting a big secondary lead on Duke, maybe thinking about trying to go for third. They've already had one runner thrown out at third here in this inning. Not sure if they're going to want to try to risk it once again. 2-1 is the count. That pitch misses outside, 3 balls and a strike. Duke in danger of walking the right-handed hitting Ryan Bertelsmann. Spencer Berg went 2 1/3 innings to give up 1 run, was not earned, 1 hit, 3 strikeouts, and 2 walks in his relief appearance. Did a good job keeping those runners where they were. That ball hit sharply, but jumping catch by Eddie Pena as Bertelsmann races back into the dugout. He hit that one on the nose, but Pena able to sky in the air and snag it right into his glove and end the 6th inning as the Settlers will come to bat. 9-4 ball game.
Starting your settlers off, number 6, Dylan Hobbs.
Zach Bacon will retain the bump for the Xenia Scouts here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. He'll face the 2-3-4 hitters for the Settlers. Dylan Ott to lead it off. Ott hitless today as he lifts that pitch to the left side. Going to appear to get out of play. Yes, it will, as the bullpen scatters a little bit earlier this time. You remember Dylan Ott ran over there last inning, and they just kind of held their ground and watched them almost crash right into them. And getting out of the way for the left fielder and Bertelsen on that one. Ott today 0 for 2, grounded out in the 1st inning. Was a productive ground out. It moved a runner over, was hit by a pitch in the 2nd, and struck out in the 4th. That pitch hits him once again right off the kneecap. So for the 2nd time, no, they're going to keep him right there. As they said, he did not attempt to get out of the way. I'm not sure Ott could have done much else as it hit him right in the kneecap. Didn't really lean into it. So that pitch will be called a ball. Home plate umpire Justin Mann says He didn't attempt to get out of the way, but you don't really have to attempt to get out of the way. You just can't lean into it or cause a strike, because that pitch hit him right in the kneecap. Where else is he supposed to go? So he sees that pitch for a strike, 1-2 count. Now to the right-handed hitting Dylan Ott. Ott, 3 for his last 19. He's been pretty cold as of late. So he sees that pitch bounce in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's a count now to Dylan Ott. Ott, the right-handed hitting outfielder from the University of Wisconsin, Oshkosh. Looks at that pitch high and outside for a ball. That'll be ball number 4. So I thought that was only ball number 3. Apparently that was 4. So Ott will go to first base with the leadoff walk, and that'll bring up Sam Wilson to the plate. Sam also looking for his first hit today. He walked and scored in the first inning, grounded into a 5-2-3 double play in the second, and had an RBI ground out in the 4th inning. Wilson, another guy that started off the year as one of the hottest hitters on the team as he looks at a strike. He's also cooled off as late. Him and Ott both had it going on early on, but have started to come back down from their .500 batting average. Wilson, he's 4 for his last 17. Second pitch curveball misses inside. 2 balls and no strikes. 1-1 count. Finally got it right there. 1-1 count. That pitch misses outside. 2 balls and a strike now. 9-4 ball game. Bottom of the 6th. Only playing 7th innings here today, as this is a doubleheader. We'll have the second game about 30 minutes after the conclusion of this one. Big hack by Wilson as he was way out in front of that pitch from Zach Bacon. That'll even count at 2. Settlers have scored a run in every inning so far. 4 in the first, 1 in the second and the third, 2 in the fourth, and 1 in the 5th to equal 9 as Wilson rolls over that pitch to the shortstop Tuttle. Flips to second for 1. Got him. Throw over the head of the first baseman as Wilson started running towards second base but stopped. Then the first baseman, Boylston, tried to get back to the base and he tripped over his own feet. It's just a circus play all around as that pitch thrown over the head of Boylston by the second baseman in Brown as Wilson reaches on the fielder's choice. It was a 6-4 put out on Ott. Second baseman in Brown just airmailed the throw, hit the side of the fence, stayed in play. Wilson thought it was over as he started going towards second base, realized it wasn't. Head first dive back into first, and the first baseman in Boylston trips over himself. And here we are. So Garrett Roberts will come to the dish now. Roberts looks at his first pitch for a strike. Roberts has not had a hit yet today as well, so the 2-3-4 guys, no hits today. Roberts was hit by a pitch in the first inning, grounded out in the second, and flew out in the 4th. It's pretty impressive that your 2-3-4 guys, you're obviously 3 best hitters batting average-wise, no hits, you still put up 9 runs as Garrett takes that pitch for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. The right-handed hitting Utica, Ohio native. Going to Ashland University here in the fall. One of the leading RBI guys in the entire league. As Wilson gets a big jump and Roberts fouls it straight back. Wilson had deked the first time that he was going to go. That time got a big running lead as Bacon didn't hold him on at all. Wilson timing it up beautifully, but Roberts fouling it right back off the backstop is going to send Wilson back to first base. So it'll be a 1-2 count to Roberts, 1 out, runner on first, 9-4 ball game, bottom of the 6th. Settlers, hopefully the last chance they have at bat in this game as that pitch swung on and missed, foul tip right into the glove of Felix King, the catcher, and Roberts will go down on strikes. That'll bring the hottest hitter we have here today in Cale Baker. Cale is 3 for 3 today, has an RBI, 2 singles, and a double, has scored all 3 times as well. Cale nearly missed a home run back in the 3rd inning. First pitch, Wilson going. Baker swings through it, throw down, not in time by King. And Wilson has his stolen base. That's Wilson's 6th stolen base on the season. Had to go through my notes there to find that one. 6 stolen bases on the year for Sam Wilson. He's near the top of the league in stolen bases, just outside the top 10, as Baker swung through that pitch for strike number 1. So 0-1 count to Baker. So he swings through another pitch for strike number 2. Baker 3 for 3 today. Does have 22 strikeouts on the season. Haven't seen one yet here today. Bacon taking a long time getting his signs finally coming set. Checks the runner in Wilson and will deliver the 0-2 to Baker as he lifts that one to the left side, going to get foul as Gray Harmon in the bullpen points out that it would be foul. And we'll do the 0-2 over again. Baker's a guy that when he gets a good piece, he can hit it a long way. You saw in that 3rd inning. Hit it to the warning track. There was no wind. Wind was blowing a little bit out towards left field. Now it comes back to a standstill. It's been off and on as he fouls that pitch back once again. Good job by Baker staying alive. Bacon, since he came into this game, has only given up 1 hit. He's had 2 guys reach via the error, and that 1 hit was to Cale Baker. So Bacon doing a pretty good job coming in relief and not allowing guys to hit. He's walked 2 guys. Has a strikeout as well, too, as he checks on Wilson over at second base. So for a guy that hasn't pitched at all this year, don't believe he's pitched in college either. Just somebody you kind of call on, hey, can you give us a couple innings here? We have a short pitching staff and another game after this one. He's done damage as Baker strikes out swinging. That would have definitely been a ball. So back-to-back strikeouts for Zach Bacon, the relief pitcher that used to be a second baseman. And he gets out of the 6th inning. No runs given up for the first time in this ball game. Settlers, no runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 left on base. We head to the 7th. Settlers look to close it out.
Now batting for 17, Luke Boyles. So.
Last chance for the Scouts here in the top of the 7th inning, only playing 7 as we do have a doubleheader of Buchanan Duke on to finish it out here for the Settlers. He'll have the 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up. First pitch going to be taken by Boylston for a strike. Boylston today 1 for 3, has reached base twice, however. Once on a single, once via an error. That was back in that 1st inning. As the second pitch from Duke taken for a strike once again. You can see Boylston just not picking the ball up very well. Duke with that sidearm submarine delivery, kind of fooling Boylston out of his hand. The 0-2 pitch. Inside, going to hit him. He's going to keep him right there, too. So we've seen 2 men get hit by a pitch as that pitch hit him right in the elbow guard and will be taken for a ball. So back-to-back half innings, we've seen a guy get hit, and the umpire and Justin Mann has kept him right there. So a 1-2 count now to Boylston, and a delivery from Duke. That pitch grounded to the left side, chopping, foul. Just foul. That just missed bouncing over that third base bank. Garrett Roberts had no chance on it. And we'll do the 1-2 over again. Duke came in last inning, did not give up a run, gave up one hit, but the man was stranded, as the Scouts have stranded 8 runners here today. Settlers have stranded 5. So Settlers doing a good job today, getting guys on base and getting them in. That was another issue that they've had as of late. The 1-2 to Boylston. That pitch misses inside, nearly hit him once again, as that'll even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Boylston not moving out of the way of that one, trying to wear it once again. But at this point, you're not sure if it will be a hit by pitch. As that pitch gone the other way and into right field. Good piece of hitting by the right-handed hitting Boylston to just shoot that ball the other way. With that sidearm delivery, it starts running outside into that left-handed batter's box. He really just stuck his bat out, let it get deep on him, and flipped it out into right field for a leadoff single. So Scouts not going down quietly here in this 7th inning. That'll bring Dugan Darnell to the dish now. Darnell, the left-handed hitting third baseman. He's got 2 hits today, both singles, has an RBI, and a fly out to center. Been one of the bright spots in this Scout batting order today. Nobody else on this Scout team has 2 hits. You got a couple other guys with 1 hit apiece. Darnell with the only multi-hit game, as Duke checks on Boylston over at first base for the 2nd consecutive time. However, now that was Boylston's 2nd hit of the game, so he's got 2 hits now. Darnell looking for a 3-hit game. 5-run ball game, last chance for the Scouts. Settlers trying to get their 4th victory of this season. That pitch taken on the outer half for a strike. Duke's been pretty solid in relief appearances. There's been 3 games where he's given up a run. 1 game against the Graders gave up 3 runs. But other than that, maybe 1 or 2, 1 run here or there. That pitch also taken for a strike. No balls and 2 strikes. He's a contact pitcher. Not going to get a whole lot of strikeouts. Has 4 strikeouts on the season. Going to rely on his stuff to get guys either to roll over or to hit weak pop-ups in the infield or the outfield. The 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Of course, after I say not a big strikeout guy, gets the strikeout of Darnell, as that'll be the first out here in the 7th inning. Truman Brown, he started at catcher. He moved over now to second base after all that shifting done by the Scouts when they pulled their starting pitcher in Drawley. Brown is 0 for 1 today. Struck out looking in the first and has walked twice since then. Has not scored. First pitch. That one looked at high for a ball. That one just missing the upper half of the zone. Duke's going to pound the strike zone as well. As I said, not big with strikeouts. That was only his 5th strikeout. He's going to try to get guys to roll over. Double play ball would end it here, as that pitch misses outside. 2 balls and a strike to the right-handed hitting Brown. Brown from Austin Peay State University. Did not play this season with the Governors. Probably coming back off of an injury that he had in community college. That pitch misses for a ball. This pitch is just missing that upper part of the strike zone. 3 balls and no strikes to the hitter in Brown. Haven't seen any action in the Settler bullpen, so it should be Duke here to finish it off, unless he were to get into trouble. 5-run lead for the Settlers, 1 out. There's a strike. Count now 3 balls and a strike, 1 out. Runner on first base. If Duke can get a ground ball here, that would more than likely end this game. The Settlers trying to come off a 5-game losing streak. 3-1. That pitch roped down the left field line, but foul, as Brown was way out in front of that pitch. But a very hard strike number 2. That'll move the count to full. Duke trying to finish this one out. comes set. Takes a breath, checks his runner, and delivers. That pitch inside. That one hit him. And he will head to first base off the hit by pitch. So 2 men aboard here for the Scouts in the top half of the 7th. Their last chance at cracking into this 5-run Settler lead. As Felix King, the now catcher, will come to the plate. King 0 for 2 today. Ground out in the 2nd, walked in a run in the 3rd, and struck out in the 5th. And he comes up with 2 men aboard, down by 5, 1 out, top 7. First pitch from Duke. Looked at outside for a ball. Felix King, also from the Masters University, teammates with Nick Tuttle. Big guy standing in the batter's box, 6'1", 210. He was a linebacker in high school. That pitch misses way outside. Duke struggling to find the strike zone here to these last couple hitters. Had a 3-pitch strikeout to Dugan Darnell. Hit Truman Brown on a 3-2 pitch. Now down 2-0 to Felix King. Felix King 3 for his last 14. 2-0. That's high and outside. 3 balls and no strikes. You would think there's going to be a mound visit here shortly as the dugout of the Settlers signals for the bullpen to get warm. It looks like Gray Harmon is going to start throwing down that left field line. The 3-0. That one taken for a strike. So finally Duke able to come back in the strike zone. But he's still got some work to do. 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out, 2 runners aboard, 5-run ball game. The delivery. That pitch fouled straight back, so Duke back into a full count. Able to battle from down 3-0. Moves the count to full. 1 pitch could get him out of this inning and give the Settlers their 4th victory of the season. Duke comes set. The 3-2. That pitch taken. Ball 4 just misses the top of the zone. As you hear some groans from the crowd, time will be called. Cale Baker will go out to talk to Duke. Sandman will head out as well. As Duke was down in the count, 3 balls and no strike, worked it back to full, but eventually walked Felix King. So the bases will be loaded here. Infield coming to the mound as well as head coach Michael Sandman will talk to his Settler team. This inning started with a single by Luke Boylston, a strikeout from Dugan Darnell, a hit by pitch by Truman Brown on a 3-2, and a 3-2 walk by Felix King. Zach Bacon started at second base. He's now pitched for the Scouts. He's only given up 1 run in the last 2 innings, so a good job in relief for him. He's coming up in a big spot now. 3 guys on, team down by 5, only 1 out. We've seen crazier things happen this season for the Settlers. Just the other night, an 8-1 lead in the bottom of the 9th inning. They gave up 8 runs in that inning to lose the game 9-8. We've seen against the Graders 3-2 lead in the last inning. That was a 7-inning game because that was a doubleheader. 5 runs by the Graders in the 7th inning. They went on to win that one. So Zach Bacon comes up 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a ground out. First pitch from Duke. Taken for a strike. Duke finally getting ahead of a Scout hitter. Bacon 138 on the season. He's 3 for his last 13. Big spot. That pitch fouled back. 0-2 now to Bacon. So whatever Sandman said on the mound worked. You remember when he came out to talk to Spencer Berg. Berg threw 3 pitches and struck out the Scout hitter. Duke looking to do just the same. A strikeout, put him to 2 outs. If he can get a ground ball, possibly a double play, get out of this inning. 9-4 ball game, top 7, bases loaded, 1 out. 0-2 pitch from Duke. That pitch rolled over to the left side, but going to be foul, as Roberts will field that right behind that third base batter coach's box. And we'll do the 0-2 again. Bacon only 4 hits on the season. Hit number 5 would score run 1, possibly 2. The 0-2. Swung on and missed for strike 3. A huge strikeout from Cannon Duke, his 2nd strikeout here this inning. And the Scouts are down to their final out here from Don Edwards Park. It'll be Nick Tuttle, the hitter. Tuttle 1 for 3 today. Single in the 6th, he grounded out in the 2nd and flew out in the 4th. So he sees the first pitch from Cannon Duke, low and outside for a ball. Tuttle 6 for his last 14. He was 3 for 5 with 2 runs the last time these two teams faced off. He's batting over 400 this year. As that pitch chopped to the shortstop, Eddie Pena going to be a tough play. Takes a low hop, clutches his throw, throws it to first. Safe, says the first base umpire. Pena got a weird hop off the infield grass. It stayed low, had a double clutch, as Boylston will come around to score the 5th run of the game, and all the other runners will move up 90 feet. We'll see how that one will be scored. That was a tough play by Pena. He did have to double clutch. Had he not double clutched, he might have been able to get the speedy Tuttle, as the bases remain loaded for the leadoff hitter in Carson Wright. Carson takes a strike by Duke. 9-5 ball game, top 7. Bases are loaded as this pitch lifted into shallow center field. Turner Hill coming on, and he will make the catch, and the Settlers get their 4th victory of the season. They snap a 5-game losing streak as they finally get back in the win column, defeating the Xenia Scouts by a final score of 9-5 here in 7 innings. Scouts moved to 7-10 on the year. Licking County, despite only getting 2 2/3 innings out of their starter, Chris Sparks, Spencer Berg did a great job out of the pen. He will get the win. Cannon Duke will get the save, give the loss to Sam Drolley, the starting pitcher, but shout out to Zach Bacon doing a great job in relief. Settlers, 9 runs on 9 hits. They had 2 errors. Scouts, 5 runs on 7 hits. They also had 2 errors, as we will take a quick break here, about 30 minutes or so. Game number 2 from Don Edwards Park. Once again, Licking County, 4th win of the year. They win this one 9-5.